All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. So this is our second of a handful of different grad chat series we are doing in relation to our graduate program portfolio here in the Saunders College of Business. My name is Matt Cornwall, and I'm the Associate Director for Student Services, and I work closely with all of our graduate programs and prospective students. So tonight we will go through the MBA program and an overview of the program, and really field any questions that you all have with respect to program curriculum, outcomes, career opportunities, and then we can certainly address application scholarship stuff as well. But we'll focus on the brunt of it with curricular stuff so you can get to know more about the program itself. So at this point, I will turn it over to Bill Dresnack, who is the program director for the MBA, and he'll get started here for us.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Hey, folks, my name is Bill Dresnack, as Matt mentioned, and I am the program director for the MBA program. Give you a little bit about my background. I will probably use the slides. I am a professor of accounting. I'm also my background, my experience and credentials outside of that title. I'm a CPA and I'm an attorney. And I started my career with a couple of the big accounting firms, accounting, consulting, financial services firms. I started with Deloitte and moved over to KPMG. I also spent some time in banking, and I've gotten to do a bunch of different interesting things in my career related mostly to accounting and law, but also finance and some consulting projects and different types of things. My primary goal, my primary emphasis tonight is to expose you to, give you an idea about the MBA program here, Saunders College of Business, RIT. Got my Saunders, oh, you can't even see this because there we go. So my Saunders RIT mug going here. So the MBA in general is a generalist degree created about 60 years ago, primarily for scientists and engineers. But these days, it's really used by people from all kinds of different backgrounds. The great thing about it is it's a generalist degree. So we have core courses that everyone can use that apply to almost any kind of leadership and management position, not just in business, but in any kind of sector, the not-for-profit sector, for example. And you are able to tailor that degree in a lot of different directions. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can go with it. I'll pull up slides in a second so we can have some structure to this. But I do want to make sure that if you have questions, those of you who are live with us tonight, that you get them answered if we can answer them. If we can't answer them tonight, we'll get them answered after tonight. So I'm going to use the slides, again, primarily so I can make sure I stay somewhat structured here. I want to make sure I'm touching on some of the most important things here. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. So this, I don't know if you're seeing the, let me try this again. Sorry about that. I had a meeting earlier today with a couple of directors, executive directors from the financial services accounting consulting firm EY. And so if you saw the Word file that I had opened there, we had a nice conversation about artificial intelligence. So I just had some things I wanted to ask them about. So cool stuff. So again, Saunders College of Business, I'm going to stick with the slides here. I've done some emphasis and underlining here. So the mission, the point I've underlined here, immediate and enduring contributions. The idea, what we do in Saunders, what we do at RIT is really hands-on, really applied. RIT started as what was called the Mechanics Institute in 1829. And from there, we built programs that are applied, college and graduate programs, degree programs that are really about being able to go into an organization and make a difference immediately, hands-on skills. We've got a tremendous foundation of research going on at the university, but we've also got these applied activities. We've got relationships with all kinds of different organizations, business positions, and so on. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But the emphasis I wanted to make there, the mission is really on enduring contributions, immediate contributions. You graduate, you get a co-op, you get a job, you jump in, and you can immediately use what you've learned to make a difference in whatever organization you're going into. Our focus is enterprises, enterprising students, entrepreneurship, being able to walk in again to an organization and have some immediate opportunities to make a difference. So that's what we get at with the mission and the vision there. Continuing on, I've highlighted some things here. There's some demographic information, some historical information about the college. But what I've highlighted here, named after Phil Saunders. Phil is incredibly accomplished entrepreneur. He's built a number of very large businesses. And Phil has been an incredible philanthropic influence on the college. Tremendous personal donations, but he's also brought to the college connections in industry, connections with people and organizations that really can't be matched anywhere. And he is a presence in the college. He physically will be in the college. He loves talking to students. He loves being around, just being around the enterprise and, really being able to help build a positive culture. And he's done that for many years now. I've also emphasized 25,000 alumni. We have a tremendous alumnus base. And many alumni looking to hire our students, looking to connect with the students. I've got a local bank VP coming in next week to talk with students about risk management. We have another one coming to talk about cybersecurity. So there's really a lot of good stuff going on related to alumni and related to employers. And that's what I wanted to emphasize there. By the way, I'm not going full screen here. Just so we can zip through a little faster, I think, this way. Actually, maybe we should go full screen. What do you think, Matt? Should I go full screen on the slides? Is that better?
Yeah, I would for video purposes.
All right. Yeah. All right, we're going full screen. So, you see a lot of rankings information here. Rankings matter, and yet I think you got to be careful with the rankings. What I think you should be considering if you're looking to enter into a program, and hopefully it's going to be one of ours, what I think you should consider, is it a good fit? Is this the kind of place you want to be? I've worked at three different colleges. And again, I've done consulting and worked with a variety of different organizations. What I think is tremendous about RIT, about Saunders in particular, we are a relatively small business school in a very large university. So we've got all the resources of a large university, but within the business school, the faculty teach the courses. You're not being taught by graduate assistants or research assistants. And you get to connect with the actual faculty who are doing the work, who are teaching, who are doing research, who are working in industry. We have a really strong culture and a really kind of informal environment, which I think is terrific. I've been at worked at and attended a couple of very large schools with very large classes. And one of the great things here is I think everybody gets to know each other. So if you're the kind of student that wants to hide in the back of the room, this is not the place to come to as far as business school goes. You will work with a lot of different people, get to know people, and that's how you build a really strong network and really strong skills. I'm trying to move it along. So I am a practitioner, I am a professor, and I can talk. So I can do a half an hour on every one of these slides. So I'm going to keep moving along. You see here the leadership, the main people involved in the MBA program as far as our Office for Student Services goes. Matt, you can see right there, is prominent, our associate director, but Lisa Boyce, the assistant dean, who's the overall director of student services, as well as Peggy and Ann and Melody. They are all experienced professionals, knowledgeable professionals, and you work with this team, this group, myself included, as well as several other staff members, in planning your schedule and figuring out sequencing of courses and identifying appropriate electives. And we also work with you to try to help you, refer you to different services on campus, as well as connections off campus for all kinds of different opportunities and other things that we'll get into in the remaining slides here. As far as the program goes, did I skip I think I skipped okay, no, we'll come to the scholarship information shortly. As far as the program goes, this slide is just showing you the overall graduate portfolio, all the different graduate programs we offer in the Saunders College of Business. RIT-wide, there are numerous graduate degrees. But you can see on the left, traditional MBA. We have a STEM MBA. That's what this program is about that we're talking about tonight. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And what that does is creates additional opportunities for students. And it also means that the specialized electives and specialized courses you would take in the program have a technology emphasis. Now, lots of places have a technology emphasis, but RIT, we've got such a wide portfolio of technology courses in different colleges outside of the business school that you can take as electives. So there's really the diversity of courses and colleges and faculty expertise that you can tap into because it's a STEM MBA is really tremendous. Just great assets here. Format of the program, you can see 16 total courses. This assumes you're not entering with anything waived or not entering with any kind of, well, I'll just use the term waived. So the 16 courses, 10 core courses, and I'll pull up after this presentation, after the slides, if we have an opportunity, I'll pull up a list of all the core courses. But the 10 core business courses are in the fundamental business disciplines that a typical leader, manager, executive in a business organization will need to know something about, will need to have some working knowledge of. Supply chain and operations, systems, business intelligence, data analytics, information systems, accounting, finance, marketing, strategy. So, you get a sense of the cross-section of different areas that are really important to understanding how to oversee, how to run, how to work with different divisions, different departments, different aspects of a business operation. Capstone course is actually the main strategy course. And the capstone course, you work in teams to try to take data, implement it in a business simulation situation so that you could see how your decisions, where they would lead in terms of overall business success. You have to take a minimum of 5 electives if you are doing the 16 total courses. I shouldn't say minimum, exactly 5 electives if you're doing the full 16 courses. At least 3 of them have to be in STEM designated courses. STEM designated courses, this actually works its way all the way up and down through the Department of Homeland Security. So there's some real rigor that goes into the determination of which electives can count for STEM electives. We have a list that we update at the beginning of each academic year to make sure that we are in compliance with those requirements, to make sure that you as a student are going to get what you're looking for from the program, what the program delivers, what we look to deliver. You can take up to 5 STEM electives. You can use all of your electives towards STEM courses, but at least 3 of those, at least 9 credits, have to be in these designated areas. And again, we've got a pretty long list of courses that qualify for that. For the non-STEM electives, you can take any graduate course in RIT. So I know there are students I've worked with who have STEM backgrounds, students with engineering undergraduate degrees or computer science undergraduate degrees who are actually looking to pick up some electives more on kind of the soft side. We work with our communications department, which has a master's in communications. So that's another opportunity if you're looking to take electives outside of STEM. Art and design. We've got just a wide variety of different programs at RIT, so you can kind of configure your electives, configure your degree in a way that's going to be suited to what you're looking to do. A few minutes ago, I said something about how, rankings, they're important, but what's most important, in my opinion, is that you find a place that's a good fit for you. And what I'm getting at the moment is the idea of the good fit is you're all individual. So everybody's looking to kind of create a program that's going to give them the opportunities they want. And that's one of the things that I think is really valuable about having this wide array of electives. You can take courses in almost anything and fit it into the degree, as long as, again, it's a qualifying graduate course. This is the list that we started this fiscal year. Shouldn't say fiscal year. I'm a CPA, right? I'm an accountant, so I think fiscal years. This is the list we started this academic year with as far as STEM courses go. And if you just look at the 4-letter prefixes on all the courses here, You see a wide variety: accounting, and BANA stands for business analytics, decision sciences, finance, hospitality, international business, industrial and systems engineering. We've got courses in professional studies, project management. These are courses that currently qualify for STEM, qualify as STEM electives. It's not the only courses. If you are taking graduate courses, for example, in computer science or engineering or mathematics, we have students who are interested really in building on their quantitative skills. There's a lot of flexibility there. This slide speaks to the scholarship programs that exist currently. Matt, do you want to speak to this, or should we talk about this a little later? Do you want to summarize?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, sure. I can briefly just highlight a couple elements here. I think the big thing, though, is regardless of whether or not you're a current RIT student, you're going to be considered for a merit-based scholarship. That range is generally 20 to 50%. And again, as the scholarship goes up, obviously, the more competitive that becomes with respect to merits. If you are an RIT graduate, recent graduate, the Master Plan Scholarship is designed for those students. RIT honor students also get a guaranteed 50%. And then any student who's graduated from a New York State college or university or is a New York State resident gets a guaranteed scholarship of at least 30%. And it could be more, again, depending on the review that we go through. And then anybody coming from one of our +1 partner schools, we have about 20 of those, most of them in New York State. Again, your scholarship consideration begins at 30%, but could warrant more depending on the review. But if you have questions on scholarships, we can definitely hit that as we go forward. But I just wanted to highlight some of those benchmark programs as well.
Thanks, Matt. And my thing to say to you is we want you to consider coming here. We want you to apply here. And if you do and you're accepted, and I hope you're a great student. I want to work with you, but we can talk with you about scholarships at that point. And I'm really big on making deals. I'm sure we can make a deal somewhere along the line, right? My career as an accountant, as a lawyer, in finance, in consulting, in business work, right? We're always looking to figure out a deal that can make it work for everybody, all the parties involved. The 95% outcomes rate refers to when you finish your degree, is the outcome what you're looking for? Are you moving on to the next step in your career in a way that you want to? So we've had a great, whoops, did I skip a couple slides there? We've had some great success in helping students find the path they're looking for. This slide talking about career services and co-op education. All RIT undergrads have to complete at least one full-time co-op. In some programs, it's more than one, meaning that they take a semester away from classes and work full-time at a full-time salary. And the fact that this is required for undergrads means we've got tremendous infrastructure in terms of employers that look to hire RIT students. That infrastructure that applies to undergrads as a requirement is also available to grad students. Grad students in Saunders do not have to do a co-op, but a lot of our students look for a foot in the door for companies or look to audition companies to see if it's a place they want to work. And so we also have graduate students looking for co-ops, pursuing co-ops. We also, of course, have graduate students going on to full-time careers, going on to companies after they graduate here from here. At the very bottom, what I've got highlighted, 2 campus-wide and 2 boutique career-specific fairs. The campus-wide career fairs, fall and spring, are enormous. We had it yesterday, right? Yesterday was the career fair, the fall career fair, and there were, I think, 300 employers. We had about 4,000 or 5,000 students walk through. I went over there to chat with some of the employers, companies I know, and companies that I'm trying to connect with and see what they're hiring. I could not get up to some of the tables because there were so many students talking to so many employer representatives that it was just, a tremendous environment. Lots and lots of good opportunities there. And I spoke to some students afterwards who had leads on a bunch of different good jobs, good potential jobs. So again, as far as placement, as far as the next step in your career, lots of employers, and that's what this slide is showing you. Some of the companies, some of the name companies that hire Saunders students. And I'm sure a lot of these are household names. I don't know how many of you are looking to go work for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's really interesting how many of our students have gone into major league sports teams. When I was graduating with my accounting degree, I was actually going to work for the CPA firm that did the audit work for the New York Mets. And I had offers from 5 or 6 different companies, and I chose that one because the New York Mets were a client. My side story here, they lost the Mets as a client in between when I got hired and when I started working for them. So anyhow, be careful. But lots and lots of great opportunities here. With respect to entrepreneurship, the picture you're seeing here is Innovation Hall. The Simone Center for Student Innovation and Entrepreneurship is one of the best in the country as far as entrepreneurial ventures, entrepreneurial environment, venture capital, connecting with people looking to invest, angel investors, and just providing opportunities for students who have startup ideas. We have lots and lots of students who come to RIT with startups already begun, already initiated, formed. We have some who come with great ideas and want to figure out how to launch them. We've got some great people in the Simone Center, great connections through the Simone Center to help launch those businesses. And the Simone Center is run by Richard DiMartino, who is a management professor. He is a Saunders professor, but his main gig these days is running the Simone Center. So Saunders and the Simone Center, which is a university-wide center, are very connected. Great opportunities if you're interested in getting involved in any kind of entrepreneurial environment, entrepreneurial ventures. What you see here are some photos and plans for our new building extension, which is going to be opening in spring semester, I think. It's getting finished up now. We're going to have a so-called soft opening in the next couple of months. But then by next fall, we will have all kinds of good things going on there. RIT, I've been at RIT 15 years. I was running business school at another place before I came to RIT as senior associate dean. And in the 15 years I've been at RIT, the amount of building, the amount of expansion, the amount of growth, the amount of different new things on campus to create a really positive environment is just astounding. The place is so different from when I came 15 years ago, and alumni come back and love seeing it. It's just an amazing, amazing place. Lots and lots of good stuff going on. Application requirements, Matt, this is more your side than my side. Your activity than my activity, but I'm going to kind of blow through that to the next slide here, next steps. Matt, do you want to talk to any of these slides, or should we end the slideshow for now and open it up?
We can wrap here, and then if folks have questions on the application stuff, we can address it. It's pretty straightforward again, and you can see from the slide there. So
nope. Yeah. Should I go back to the slides?
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll just end the spiel there by saying just tremendous opportunities here. RIT is an amazing place, and I came to RIT. In part, I said I was running a different business school before I came to RIT, and I was trying to get my students internships, and I had trouble doing so because RIT, all the companies look to hire RIT students for co-ops and jobs. So it was just, I said, if you can't beat them, join them. And they made me a really nice offer, and I came over. So great place, great opportunities. The MBA program, you can launch in unlimited different directions. Just depends on what you want to do with it. And we're here to help you figure that out and tailor the program the direction you want to go. So I'm glad you guys are here. Matt, I turn it over to you.
Yeah, so at this point, we'll certainly take any questions you all have. That's the big reason why we're here. We want to address any questions you have. And as Bill said, this is an individual process for each of you. You're all coming at this from a different background perspective. And honestly, some of you may be getting to the end of your curricular plan in a different way, right? With course waivers and things like that. So all of that factored in, we certainly want to address any questions that folks have. Yeah, so feel free to put those in the chat or unmute yourself if you'd like to. Happy to do that too and talk with you. But yeah. Someone will break the ice. I know it will happen.
Hello.
No, if you guys were in my class, I'd call on someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Hassan, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Matthew. Thank you, Bill, for the insightful presentation. I would like to know that for the MBA program, is there any work experience requirement? Any tech, because I couldn't find a typical class profile.
Matt, do you want to take that or you want me to?
Yeah, I mean, you can jump in, but there is no work experience requirement. We have an executive MBA program that has a requirement, but for our traditional MBA, there is not a work experience requirement. However, I will say, if you do have work experience, it'll be factored in, right? You submit a resume, but from a strictly a standard, from a procedural standpoint, it is not a requirement.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
look at the and we look at the total package. What do you bring to the table? And we try to have a nice cross section so that classes have diversity of backgrounds. So there are people who come to the table who don't have any significant industry experience, but have other experiences that really are valuable and that really inform class discussions.
Yeah, absolutely got it. And secondly, this is the reason why letter of recommendation is also not mandatory. And secondly, is the program only available for the fall semester, or is it in the spring as well?
So the MBA can actually be started in any semester, fall, spring, or summer. So we actually have students that start in any term. And you can start full or part-time. So that's an option. I might have missed the first question. Was there another question that you asked?
No, so I was just mentioning that since there is no work experience requirement, although I do have, but then again, the application says that the letter of recommendation is also optional. It's not like mandatory.
Right. Yep. And that's correct.
Yeah.
We don't require letters of recommendation.
Yeah. And since the MBA is now STEM designated, um, I skimmed the website previously also, and I came across one of the profile who did an MBA, and she majored in finance, I guess, and then she also did an MSBA, so business analytics. So I guess when we talk about the STEM MBA, then we won't be required to do 2 degrees or dual degrees, right?
Yeah,
Since the earlier profile was since the earlier profile she was also an international student. So obviously for international, the thing that matters most is the STEM OPT.
Right.
So I believe that this is the reason why she did 2 degrees at the same time, or maybe one after the other.
Yeah, and I neglected to mention that. I probably should have, but the STEM designated MBA allows students, international students who might not have permanent status here, to do 3 years of optional practical training and be able to get their foot in the door with U.S. companies. But that student, Hassan, that you were mentioning, I mean, I don't know the particulars there, but we certainly do have students who come in and do 2 master's degrees. I don't know if there was something specific you were thinking about with respect to that, but I can tell you right now, as program director, something I'm working on is I've had a number of students in different colleges who are working on MS degrees in different programs who are interested in MBA. So we're trying to create pathways for them to be able to do the 2 degrees while they're here with some efficiency, and to the extent we can try to help keep the cost down. So I don't know if that had anything particular to do with what you were asking about, but yeah. So certainly for international students, the STEM designation allows for 3 years of work experience, while they're here. That's what you were referring to?
Yeah, and secondly, since like you have mentioned now that you're like creating an environment to pursue dual degrees, So, will these two dual degrees be completed within the 2 year time frame, or would it require 2+1? So 2 years for MBA and then 1 year for the MS.
Well, so this is cutting edge. We haven't completed all that yet. So the idea would be to do 2 years, but not there
Yeah.
yet. But you can find my contact information, on the website, and feel free to reach out to me separately. And I'll be happy to give you updates as we move this forward. But again, so we've got a lot of students in the MBA program, and I'm also, as accounting faculty, I deal with a lot of accounting students. And having been a department chair for two of the departments, I get a lot of students talking to me about other things. And what I try to do is, when I have students say to me, Bill, I'd really like to do this, that, the other, I say, all right, well, let's figure out a solution to that. Let's try to find a way to make that happen. So that's what I was just talking about a minute ago with the couple of degrees. That's really, we're just trying to get that going, because a couple of students have brought it up to me. So, but again, Dresnack, DRES, you can see my name on the screen there. Feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to, work through whatever details you're thinking about and help you do it if that's what you want to do.
Sure. So I believe that there's leverage and there's flexibility when it comes to taking up the electives and the certain concentration that we want to pursue in with regards to the career goals.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Glad you asked some questions. Love having questions. Who else is going to participate in tonight's class?
Hey, Bill and Matt, this is Piyush here. Am I audible?
Yes. Yep. We got you. Yep.
Hello,
Yeah.
Piyush.
Yeah. So, hello. Thank you for the presentation. So currently I'm working here at RIT. So I recently joined RIT in the month of May. So I'm currently working here in the University Advancement. And I just had a word with my manager, and he mentioned that that I could take up courses like an MBA or maybe like a master's degree. Like surely I might be having some employer benefits. I'm not sure of, I mean, how that would work over here. But just to give a little bit of background, I also did my master's in computer science from NJIT. So I graduated last year in the month of December. So I'm just here to know, like what what are the options for me, like, or how to proceed, like being an employee over here at RIT. So what are my options? And also I could see on the application details that will I be requiring a GRE or like a TOEFL? I've certainly given those exams, but I'm not sure till when that these scores would be valid. If you could just touch up
Yeah.
on those things as well.
Yeah. So where did you say your MS degree was from?
Yeah, so I did my master's from NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology.
Oh, okay.
I have
Okay.
an
So
uncle
yeah.
who's a professor there. One of my uncles is a professor. Well, he's a retired professor of engineering there.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's nice. Good to hear that.
So because you have a degree already from the US, you don't have to do the TOEFL or IELTS or the GMAT or GRE. So that's waived. From an employer standpoint, the process is the same. You're applying just like everybody else would. Obviously, the tuition benefit is part of the process, and you would work with HR on that. But in terms of like our review and things, everything's the same. So you're just applying like any other student through the application portal, and things like that. I will say, just for awareness purposes on your end, with your MS degree, it sounds like you completed it recently. There might be a class or two that we could look at using towards the MBA as well, particularly because it is from computer science and it's from the US. So that's just something else to be aware of. But in terms of the process, procedurally, it's the same. And again, those two exams would be waived.
Right. That's nice. Thank you. Thank you for answering
Yep.
that. Yeah. So I was actually interested in going for the MBA in finance, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'll still have to work with the HR, I guess, like it still has to be something that's related to my work, I guess.
Right.
But yeah,
But again,
yeah,
the
yeah.
MBA is broad enough that we rarely have employees have an issue making that case. So you should be good there. But yeah, certainly the finance coursework you can take via electives and work in for sure.
So yeah, thank you. And one last question: is there any way that I could set up an appointment or a meeting with the with the administrative staff? Is there a way?
Yeah, so that would be me. So you can reach out to me directly and we can definitely discuss things further for sure.
Sure, Matt. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely.
So no one else has any questions? So you guys are all ready to apply and come into the program, if I allow it. No, seriously, want to answer the questions and certainly, I hope if you're interested in an MBA, and you wouldn't be on here otherwise, that you're going to talk to us and put in an application that we can, work through details after that. But if you have questions, that's why we're here.
I will say, and this kind of Piyush's point that he just had brought up, I think a good next step can be, particularly if you're just kind of getting started with the process, is meeting with us one-on-one, just to hash out, what the details would look like for you and next steps and things like that. We certainly do quite a bit of that. So, yeah, so just, consider that. Always know that that's an option. We also will we actually have a virtual open house next week as well. So I'm hoping to have a few current students there at that, so you can kind of discuss things with them as well if you're interested in that. But yeah, any other questions that folks have? All right. So I'm gonna stop the recording here in just a second, and I'll stick around for a minute or two afterwards in case there is anything that pops up. But thank you again, folks, for attending. And then, like we said, both Bill and I said, feel free to reach out. We're happy to connect with you and continue working with you going forward. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you.